Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Communications from Home. I'm sorry, wrong show. This is the Spiritual Roundtable. Oh my goodness. How could I do that? Today's Wednesday. It's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday afternoon, August 19th. And this is the Spiritual Roundtable. That's too funny. That's too funny. I'm Neshi Lokotz. I'm your host for this live stream show. And this show is all about the card draw that I do for the group in the morning. And it sparks a spiritual conversation this afternoon. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to those that are in the live chat. Thank you so much for being here, both in Facebook and also in YouTube live chat. Thank you for being here. Some of you may not know it, but here at Star Nations organization for the live stream shows, our partners at Be Live, they launched another tool for us, which is to simulcast. So we can do our live stream both in Facebook and also on YouTube. How cool is that? We like it. We like it a lot. And so welcome. Today, the cards today is a little bit different. It's a little bit different. And we're using a different deck, right? And so what I did just prior to starting the live stream is I went and joined and shared the live stream over to my newsfeed. I invite you to also send it to a friend or to a family member, somebody who you think would enjoy having a spiritual conversation. And and just to hang out with us, that's always fun, right? And so I invite you to do that. So today we have a different deck. And I'll tell you a little story behind that one. We're using this particular deck today. It's Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray. We haven't used this deck in a while. And it's illustrated by Lily Moses. I believe Lily is from Australia, or was it New Zealand, the illustrator. And Kyle Gray, the author, is from Scotland. Let me see. I want to double check. I want to make sure I got Lily's she's from New Zealand. The illustrator, Lily Moses, is from New Zealand. And Kyle Gray is from Scotland. Yeah. So we're using this deck today. We have two cards that were given to us today from my spiritual team. Each morning that I do the show on Wednesdays, I meet with my spiritual team, my guides, guardians, angels, teachers, allies, ancestors, star beings, power animals, totems, nature spirits, the whole gang comes in. And I ask them to please show me the information that's important for us this week, for our soul growth, our soul contract, and also to remember our joy. And so we have two cards today. Let's see who's in the house first before we get started on that. Rochelle's here. Yay. Hello, Rochelle. Good to have you here, lady. And Rob's here too. Greetings from YouTube land. He's listening from YouTube. Yay. Thank you, Rob. And Rochelle says she's grounded and shared. Yay. Good one. Good. He says, today we're playing with a full deck. Yes, we are. Maybe a deck and a half. How about that? Deck and a half. Oh, and look who else is in the house. One of my sisters, Christine's in the house. Christine is a longtime friend, and she's also someone who does a lot of artwork and spiritual artist. Yeah, good to have you in the house, Christine. So yeah, this particular deck. Okay, here's the story about changing decks for today. We've had been using the Sacred Spirit reading cards by Anna Stark. We were using this deck. We had some helpers come in today, the house cleaner and a couple other people that were working down here in the basement. And it was kind of hard for me to get down here to the deck of cards that we usually use. This deck happened to be upstairs in my backpack. And so I was thinking, okay, so how do I get downstairs? I could say, excuse me. And then the memory came in is that I had this deck this particular deck in my backpack. And so I thought, okay, then we'll use that one today. So we have 2 cards today, and I think you're going to find it very interesting. So let's get started. Started with the very first one. Here is the first card for today, for this week, actually. It's winter. Take care of your needs. That's a wolf on the card here. I'm going to show it a little bit closer. And the wolf is just the head of the wolf and, looking directly at us, right? Directly at us. And talking about the season of winter. And winter lies on the medicine wheel in the west. Begins in the west, and actually northwest is when winter solstice begins on the medicine wheel. Okay, and actually the center part of winter is in January, right, at the very top of the wheel, in the north. And so here we are at giving the message coming out of winter. And what's that part of winter, right? That part of winter that we know without having to read anything or take information from someone else, right? Is what do we know about winter? Winter is a time when we spend a lot of time indoors, don't we? Depending on where you're at around Grandmother Earth, I should say that. In the northern hemisphere, we're spending a lot more time indoors because it's cold. It's cold and it's snowy, right? But if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're going to be probably more outside because it's summer. So when we're talking about this, depending on where you're at around Grandmother Earth, is just turning your attention to your relationship to winter. There's some things about winter, because I live in a northern state here in the United States. I live in Wisconsin. Some people think it's a part of Canada that don't know their geography too well. But it gets cold here. It really does. Gets cold in the middle part of winter. Sometimes with the wind chill, we could be at 30 below with the wind. And those days kind of get strung together starting middle of December all the way through probably the first part of February, right? We talk about the February thaw. And so sometimes we get some pretty cold days where we really don't want to go out. Now, we're pretty hardy too. You just dress for it, and then you can go out and spend some time out there. But the middle of winter, we're drawing in. We're going inward, right? We're getting quiet. When you think about winter and you think about the wolf, right? The wolf is a power animal or totem that is year-round. They don't hibernate. They get quieter, but they don't hibernate. They don't go into that long sleep. So they're very much aware and active year-round. Okay, and wolves are a community-minded animal. They're in packs, right? And did you know that there's a myth? It's a fallacy, actually, about the lone wolf. Did you ever hear that one about being a lone wolf? There really isn't any lone wolves. When we see a singular wolf, it's usually a young male. And what they're doing is they're looking for a mate. And when they find a mate, sometimes what they'll do is they'll start their own pack. They break away from the larger pack and start their own pack. And so they're searching for their mate. There is no such thing as a lone wolf. But they're very community minded. And the alpha male and the alpha female, what they do is they take care of their community. They're the leaders. And they're not necessarily at the head of the pack when they're moving. They're usually bringing up the rear. They're usually one of the last ones in the pack as they're moving through an area. Why? Is because they're taking care of the old and the very young. They're making sure everybody stays together, and they're there for protection. Okay? And so they're very community minded, very family minded. The alpha and the male alpha and the female alpha, they mate for life. Yeah. Yeah. So how do I know all this? Well, where I live, we're surrounded by a couple of wolf packs. We used to have pretty large ones, but the DNR, you know how they are. They went in to try to balance things out rather than leaving it to Grandmother Earth and Mother Nature to do that for us. But we have a pack, actually two of them west of us. We have a pack north of us by 45 minutes or so. And to the east of us, there's another pack in a federal reserve, and there's a brand new pack. I want to say it's like a year old or so to the south of us. And so we also have the state resident expert in wolf packs who lives about 30 or 45 minutes from here. And he has several books out. Paul knows him, and I've listened to a lot of his lectures and that sort of thing. He used to work for the DNR, and then he retired and then started doing what he really wanted to do, and that was to teach people about our wolf packs here in Wisconsin. Yeah. So this is a very interesting card. First card out of the deck this morning. It's about winter and the wolf and taking care of ourselves, taking care of your own needs, right? And so it's very interesting because here we are. Some places, depending on where you live, in just the last month or two, is where we started coming out of the what was that stay at home, safe place, with the virus. Everybody was kind of in their own spaces, and where that long pause, right? It was a time to be at home. Many people couldn't go into work, right? There are some people who started working from home, and so not too long ago, many places we started venturing out, right? Started venturing out, coming out of that hibernation, so to speak, coming out of the winter. Many of us took that time to do a lot of inner work, self-reflection, looking at what do we want to keep? What do we want to change? Realizing that maybe there's parts of our lives that we want to change, right? It gave us some time to do that. Now, if we just kind of set aside the drama and trauma of all of the COVID stuff, and not to say that it doesn't exist, but to set it over here just for a moment and take a look at the bigger picture, right? That we had a chance to do that. Now here we're at, and there are some places where they're seeing or experiencing more people who are testing positive, right? And so there's this talk amongst government leaders and such, that we have to do some things a little bit differently, like wearing the masks all the time. There's some countries and some states here at the United States they're talking about closing things down again, and so here we are kind of in the midst of that in between state. And we get this card that tells us is that, just because we might be out there in the community, out there in the physical world, we can still take that time to take care of our needs, whatever that is for you. There is this thing about masks, no masks, right? And masking shame, whether it's somebody's trying to shame you because you're wearing one or not wearing one, right? Whatever it is that you need to do to take care of yourself, that's what you need to do. Whether it's to remain in a slower mode and staying home more and not so much out there, and if that's for you, maybe it's because you have a lower immune system for whatever reason. And so you need to take care of that, right? Or like me, you have an elder that lives with you. And so you need to take care of yourself so that you're there for them. And so you have to do those kinds of things for yourself. In other words, you're discerning for yourself what your needs are, right? And here at Star Nations, we talk a lot about that discernment, right? We do. We do. Discerning for ourselves. And here it is that Spirit is letting us know that if we still need to be in that slower, lower energy field of being closer to home, right? Going inward, continuing your self-reflection. If that's what you need to do, then that's good. Do it for yourself. Taking care of your own needs. Because when we do that, even though some people might say that it's selfish to do that, maybe from their perspective, perhaps, but that's through your own discerning, is that if you're taking care of yourself and you feel the need to do that, then that's what you need to do, right? You don't need someone else's permission or okay to do it. You just do it. Yeah. And I know it sounds, for some people, it might sound counterproductive, because here we are, we're facing a lot of our belief systems too, right? Here in the Midwest, we have a very high work ethic. And where did that come from? From usually from our families, right? And from our society where we live. How those rules and regulations that we live by, right? Idle hands, right? And that if you're not producing something, then you're lazy, or anything to that account, right? And so sometimes what we're doing is we're breaking through those old beliefs that really don't support who we're meant to be. And in order to take the time to go through those things, sometimes we have to be in a quiet state, a slower, lower energy state, so that we can do that self-reflection. And some of us need that extra time to do that. And if that's what you need, then you should do it. Even if you're going home and going to work and that sort of thing. So maybe you're taking that quiet time for yourself when you are home, right? And taking care of yourself. Slowing it down just a bit. Yeah, Rochelle says, powerful yet serene. Exactly. Exactly. Good words. Rob says, I even wear a condom just to be safe. Well, good for you. That's good for you. From oh, Rob, you're on it today. You're on it today. All right. So here's a little bit about what the author has to say. Okay. He says, do everything you need to be at your best. Then move beyond your fears and limitations. Do everything you need to do to be at your best. So even if that means that you're still sifting through what you're going to keep and what you're going to release, that's okay. Especially if they're huge things like changes in your belief system, right? That you want to be able to take your time to do that. Sometimes it's not the whole belief that we're throwing out or releasing, right? Sometimes it's only parts of it. And so you have to discern for yourself which parts you're going to keep and which parts you're going to release. And so, but this card, what Spirit's letting us know is to continue staying within, doing that self-reflection, taking care of your needs. It also says that winter is a time for hibernation and retreat. There's a primal force within encouraging you to continue. The winter card features a wolf, one of few animals that stays active all year round. Wolves know what it's like to work alone or thrive within a pack. Wolf medicine will help you move beyond your insecurities and relax in your own space. Relax in your own space. When I read that, I thought, oh, that is so profound, deeply profound. Because when we're relaxed in our own space, many people will take that as their physical space, their home, wherever they're living, right? Which is okay, that's good. But it could also mean in your emotional space, in your spiritual space, in your mental space, right? That when we take our time to relax in our own space, how many of us have actually ever slowed down enough to do that until recently? And because it's been such a prolonged time, there's some people who find it uncomfortable to be with themselves in that quiet for that length of time. And so then there's another layer there. It's another layer of your soul contract and learning, right? Life lessons. It's another layer. And for those of us who enjoy that quiet time and being on our own, right? And doing that self reflection, that just means that we get to go even deeper. And when we do that, then we start uncovering things at its root. And sometimes when we do that, it does get a little challenging. Sometimes a lot of challenging, right? When we realize, oh, this is the root of something, and then we want to back away from it because it's uncomfortable, right? Yeah. So taking care of yourself and doing whatever you have to do to be at your best. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you in all of your bodies, in your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical bodies? What did Rob say with a full deck? Yeah, all four bodies. It's a full deck. Yeah, there we go. Rochelle is saying, I found myself very content doing nothing, though I watch National Geographic History Channel meditating on my river. Yeah, it's good, right? Yeah, there's a lot of inner work. And so good that you took the time to do that, Rochelle. Really, because, um, in the Western culture, we live very fast lives. We're always on the go, right? Up until recently. Up until recently. And so, it's okay. It's okay to continue doing that inner work and that self reflection and going a bit slower. It's okay to do that inner work. Even though your community might be much more active than it was in the last few months, right? Yeah. Rob says, you mean I said something profound about a total accident? You think it was an accident, but it's not. It's not. Okay. So here's the rest of the message from the author. He says, you have an opportunity to move beyond your fears. Although you may feel the dark, get comfortable with being in the unknown and trust that the light within you will sustain you through what may seem like a challenging process. You may uncover something from your past that you have buried deep. Know that when you unearth it and shed light on it, you create space for miracles. Right? So taking care of you, minding your own vibration, slowing down enough to do your own self-reflection, and to hopefully to be able to get to the root of something that you may not have taken the time to do before. In the bigger picture, in the macro level of this whole thing, is really about our inner work, our soul growth, right? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I know, and I know that there's the stressors out there around it, right? the fear. Do you remember way back when, a few months ago, like in January, when we first got the information about COVID-19? Remember? Do you remember the shock? Do you remember what it was like? It's like, and then when people were given the directive that, no, you can't come to work. We're shutting down. Shocking, shocking. And then we had another wave of shock when then the financial situation started occurring, right? So there was another wave of shock. And here we are, months later. Some people are still dealing with that particular shock. But as we sit in the quiet, as we do that winter season within ourselves, we have the opportunity to really take a look at what is this? What is this thing we call our physical life and our spiritual growth? What are we really here to do? Why am I here? Do you remember all those questions we've asked ourselves in the past? Yeah, what is this all about? How can I use my gifts? What are my gifts? Right? We have the time, we have the space to do that, to relax in our own space, to be able to do that self-reflection. Yeah. Oh my gosh, look who's in the house. Kimberly's here. Missed you guys. I know, I missed you guys too. I did. I took 2 weeks off and it felt like a really long time. And things have gotten different here at my house. There's a different flow in the routine. Having Paul home for a month certainly kind of shifted things around. And by the way, he's doing really good, you guys. He's going back to work next Monday. He goes back to work, and we'll see. We'll see what the next chapter is going to be about. And Mom's doing better. She's doing better. Not great, but better. All right. So here's the first card, Winter. Take care of your needs. Do what you have to do, no matter what it is, to be at your best. Tap into that energy, that meaning, whatever that is for you, for the spirit of winter, the medicine of winter, the medicine of the wolf, right? That was the first card. And the second card, here it is. Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. So Rochelle, when you wrote grounded, I had to smile because I thought, oh, wait till she sees this second card. So the Earth Garden, stay rooted and grounded, right? And I'm going to get as close as I can here and get it to my camera to focus. I want you to try to make out. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. We've used these cards in the past, right? And this is the first time I've ever showed you this piece. But look at his hands and his arm. Light language, right? On his hands and his arms. Some of it is the zodiac symbols. Others are not. He holds a staff. I say he, she, that has a dream catcher at the top with 2 feathers. Clearly an angel, has wings, dressed in green, has a green stone at his or her third eye. The color green, representing earth. Yeah. So cool. And I know some of you might recognize some of these symbols that's here. If you do, please put it into the comments. Now, angels don't necessarily have a gender, right? I know as humans, we like to assign that kind of energy to someone. But angels are genderless, and they carry the qualities meant in their ray or their frequency, right? And so an earth angel, an earth guardian, is really here to help us here on earth, right? For us souls here on earth. Yeah. Kimberly, she's saying amazing message, as with this full moon in Leo feels like more grounding required, and obsidian came in for me to wear too. You're right. Absolutely. And Rochelle says he looks like to me a Lemurian. Yeah. Could be. Could be. Earth guardian. Earth guardian. And what do we know about dream catchers? Right? Dream catchers actually come from the United States, Turtle Island, North America. They were first created in the eastern part of the United States, indigenous people, Native Americans, east of the Mississippi, specifically out of the Northeast. Okay. And they were meant to be hung by a place where people sleep. And it's kind of like a filter. Okay. It filters out bad dreams, bad medicine kind of things. Okay. And to allow in the good dreams. That's why it was called a dream catcher. And as time moved forward, and by the way, they were made out of young saplings, like or really bendable um, limbs, twigs, that kind of thing, sticks, and sinew a long time ago was used to create the webbing on the inside of it. And lots of times they would weave into it feathers and such. Right? And as we move forward into more modern times, we're using all kinds of different colored string or fish line. A lot of times they're not even made out of trees anymore or wood. Some of them have metal hoops and that kind of thing, and all kinds of designs on the inside of it. And many people hang it near windows in bedrooms. I used to have one that hung on my rear view mirror that my mom made me years ago. And then somebody that I don't want to call her a student, somebody who studied with me, was a part of Star Nations for a bit. She had a young daughter who was having really bad dreams, and yeah. And so I took it off my rearview mirror and handed it to her. And we cleared it first, and then she hung it up in her room. And I told the little girl the story about what is a dream catcher. And, it helped her through some bad times, some bad dreams. And so that's always a good thing, right? Yeah. Kimberly says the key on his arm feels like unlocking universal energy information. Yes, Lemurian too. Yeah. Well, talk about dreams, though, right? Stay rooted and grounded. One of the things that we know here at Star Nations, we have been talking about being grounded, grounding your energy, grounding yourself to grandmother Earth, right? We have been talking about it here, especially on this particular show, since December of 2018. Specifically, 1212 Gateway of 2018. And so almost every show we talk about being grounded, right? We did, and I think I started it in February, maybe it was March of this year, when everybody went into their safe in place, right? Um, because of the virus, I started doing guided meditations every day. For every day, we have over 70 mornings of guided meditations recorded here at Star Nations. And that was all about helping people to get grounded, right? Helping empaths to be able to release emotions from other people, right? Feelings from other people. And so when we ground ourselves to ground Mother Earth, it helps with us in discerning what is a truth for ourselves, right? So no matter what's going on out there and all the chaos and things that are happening, the mask, no mask, is the virus real? Is it a hoax? Any and all of that, and so much more. When you're grounded, you aren't as easily unbalanced from that kind of chaos, right? And you can take in the information and discern for yourself if that's the truth for you. And it's very helpful. And it's even more helpful when you are making those decisions on what to keep and what to release and what to create, right? When you're using your gifts that you came in with, whenever we do that, our soul is shining. And when you're grounded, what you're doing is you're grounding your gifts and your expertise, your mastery, your growth, and using your gifts onto the earth plane. What does that mean? That means we're helping to shine and lighting it up. We're illuminating, right? So when you're grounded and rooted to the earth, to grandmother earth, you're doing your soul work. And you're also happier. You're also happier. Why? Is because you're more relaxed. You're more relaxed in your space. You're more relaxed. Makes sense, doesn't it? Whenever I do these card draws, what I noticed is that the first card is the main message. And any of the cards after that is really to support that main message and to help us to understand it even in a deeper way. Okay. So this earth guardian came to let us know that when we are in our own space, taking care of our own needs, discerning for ourselves, when we're grounded, it makes it so much easier. It makes it less challenging to identify what is at a root of an issue or a problem for ourselves, right? And it helps us to deal with the stuff that's going on out there. Yeah. All right. So here is the message. Take time to connect deeply with the energy of the earth so that you can feel supported and make decisions based on strength and integrity. And for me, the definition for integrity is when what we say and what we think matches our actions, our behavior, that we're in alignment, right? In other words, we're not saying one thing and doing another. Yeah, think about that one. So it goes on to say that Earth Guardian represents the angels of Earth who bring the medicine of feeling grounded and strong. They are the protectors of the land and the planet and can help you to connect with your mission here and how you can support the evolution of the planet. Now, doesn't that talk about macro, the bigger picture, right? The bigger picture here is that when we're grounded and we're using our gifts in that way, we're helping Grandmother Earth and her evolution because we're minding our own vibration. We're taking care of our own needs. She's supporting us the entire time. And she's leading the way in this evolution, right? It's not us. She's been at this for billions of years, right? And so we're here in this physical body this time around, helping in that evolution. And when we do that, we're also doing our soul work. We're also doing our soul growth. It is an adventure and an opportunity, right? All right. He goes on to say, the author says that this is a beautiful part angel, part elemental, without human gender. Their staff, adorned with a dream catcher, shows that they have the capacity to help you ground your dreams to reality. It's important for you to take a grounded approach to your current situation. If you're rushing ahead or making a decision based on your more fearful responses, you will miss out on the growth you deserve. Breathe, relax, and connect to your center. So no matter what method, what modality you use to be grounded, the most important thing is that you're doing it. Not just talking about it, right? But actually doing it. Makes a huge difference for everybody. Everybody. All right. Let's see. Trying to figure out. I'm going to catch up with you guys. Kimberly says that they're so amazing and helpful, your meditations. I've learned so much. Aw, thank you, Kimberly. One of these days, Kimberly, you and I are going to meet in person. I just know it. Rochelle says, I'm more relaxed in my life than I ever have been. Yay. Yay. Now that is something to celebrate about, Rochelle. Really, that is something to celebrate. And Kimberly says, for sure, it makes things flow with ease and grace. Yes, it does. Absolutely, it does. And I can tell when I am not as grounded as I can possibly be, because little things start to really bother me. And it's like, why? What is going on? And then I check in, and it's like, okay, because, I have an active Merkaba. And so when those kinds of things happen, that means that there's more information that's coming in that I need to pay attention to, turn my focus to. And when I can do that, when those things are small, that they're easier to take care of, right? Right. So it's kind of like a tap you on the shoulder kind of thing, rather than getting the 2x4. Hey, Jocelyn's here. Hello, Jocelyn. It's always good to have you in the house. Rochelle says, I feel so much gratitude in knowing. Oh, Rochelle, that is so sweet. Thank you so much. And we're going to have our chat tomorrow, right? Tomorrow afternoon. Jocelyn says, beautiful card. Yes, it is. It's the second card. The first card, Jocelyn, was this one. Winter and the Wolf. That was the first card. Take care of your needs, right? That was the first card. The second card, this one, is Earth Guardian, and letting us know that we need to be grounded. The best thing we can do for ourselves is to be grounded. And when we do that, we affect, in a good way, our entire environment around us and those people who are in our lives, right? Because we're all interconnected. So what we do, what we think, how we feel, affects everybody and everything around us. Okay? So the best thing that we can do is to be grounded and to use our gifts when we're grounded. That's the best thing we can do. No matter what's going on out there, no matter what or who in our governments in our different countries are in leadership, it doesn't matter. Because when we're grounded, no matter what's going on out there, yeah, it's not going to shock us as much, and it's not going to throw us off balance, right? Yeah. That we can discern. We can discern for ourselves what is fact and what is a truth for us individually, which is good. Which is good. Rob is saying, if you don't ground, you turn into Rosanna Dana. That's true. I haven't thought about that character in a long time. Hey, Christine says, thank you, Neshi. Listening has fired up my creativity, much to mull over. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And when spirit, the creator, has given us an opportunity to slow down a bit, right? For that length of time that we've had the opportunity to have, those of us who have been our creativity dormant, I'm not going to say gone because we all have it, but dormant, it gives us the opportunity to be able to resurrect it, right? Dust it off, start using it, because we are creators. We were meant to create, we were designed to create. And so now, why not, right? Why not? Now, when I was doing the card draw, and we got the second card out, and I'm looking at it, and I was really, and then honestly, this is the first time I realized that there was light language on his arms, right? And I'm sitting with this, and I'm got my coffee, and one of my spiritual team, I heard a little voice say to me, turn over the whole deck. What's the last card? Now, I've done card drawings for 2.5 decades, maybe more than that, maybe 3 decades. And I know some people do that. They use that last card, right? I never have. I was never really drawn to do that until today. And so when I looked at the very last card of the deck, this is the last card. High Priest. Intend and create. Intend and create. This card has so much in it. We've got the falcon there, number one. I'm trying to get my camera to, there it goes. We've got the falcon. We have a creative tool in our hands, right? High Priest. We have the Kundalini. That is the symbol of the snake over the top of his head. The rising of the Kundalini. We have the Merkaba, the star tetrahedron, an ascension vehicle up there. That's the star. And anytime I see large earrings, we also have this clairaudient thing going on. Right? High Priest, intend and create. So here's the thing, is that first card that we had was about winter and going within and being quiet, right? With the wolf. Active all year long. Community minded. Strength and courage. They're great communicators. Wolves are great communicators, very smart. They hunt together in a very organized way. Right? And the second card we get was to be grounded, and what our life can be like when we're grounded, and how we can discern for ourselves, how we ground our creativity to the earth plane, right? Okay, and this particular card is letting us know is that no matter what we have decided in our quiet time, if we have decided to recreate ourselves, redefine ourselves, Maybe it is to create a whole different kind of way of living. No matter what it is that what we need to do is to intend it and create. We are creators. It says, the message says, recognize that you have the power to change your life. Face your fear and align with the light. Face your fear and align with the light. When we're grounded, we can discern. When we're grounded, when we use our gifts, we are illuminating. We are the light. It says the high priestess is always spiritually connected and disciplined with great respect for his creator and his particular practice. It says that you are a bridge between heaven and earth, and it is important for you to know that you are more powerful and connected than you may think. Everything you are giving attention and energy to at this time is creating your way forward. Know that you are being guided by the ancestors to direct your thoughts and energies toward what you want to grow, heal, and expand. I tell you what, this is a powerful message that we have been quiet and going within. Those of us who have taken the opportunity to do that. And that opportunity is still there for everybody, right? When we look at the bigger picture and when we look at the time frame that this is all occurring in, and I'm trying to remember who said this. Kimberly said about the Lion's Gate, right? This is all in divine timing. This is no small thing that's going on. When you look at it from a larger perspective, a higher perspective, a wider perspective, it's a huge gift. It's a huge gift. So we're very powerful beings. We're creators. And so no matter what you have done in your own space to relax in your own space, discern for yourself what you're going to keep, what you're going to release, what you're going to create. It's big. It's big. And we should be patting ourselves on the back for doing all that hard work, right? All right. Jocelyn says, but Rob, she was funny. That's true. She was Rosanna Dana. Hey, Cindy's here. Reality has gotten bizarre. Depends on whose reality, right? Christine says, yes, intend and create. I'm following through with my next creation that popped into my head during the show. Really? Oh my God. You got to tell me. Tell me about it. Christine is also creating something that way. I can't wait to experience. And I can't say anything about it other than that. It's going to be good, though, when you guys hear about it. Jocelyn said, and raised from the stars. Yes, raised from that star. And that star, that Merkaba, the six-pointed star, is an ascension vehicle. And everybody has one. Some are activated, some are not. And that light, the light rays, is really that illumination, right? Mm-hmm. That's right. Cindy says, important now with the new moon in Leo. Yes, it is. Yeah. Whoops. Rochelle? Rochelle was going to say something, and maybe not. Okay. So, one of the things that we learned when we first started doing this show almost 3 years ago, can you guys believe that? Is that when I show you all the cards together, it's a very powerful moment. Okay. So if you haven't done your grounding today, please take a moment and ground. All right. Because what we're going to do is we're going to call individually, we're going to call to our full spiritual teams to be present with us. and turning our attention to them because they're always with us. We're turning our full attention to the full team, everybody on your team. And they're going to be asking them for their assistance to help you to bring in the information coming from the cards for you in an optimal way and an optimal amount. Okay. So just take a moment and ground your energy to Grandmother Earth. Okay. And then take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, asking your full team to come close and to help you to bring in the information from the cards in an optimal way, in an optimal amount for you. Okay. And I'm going to show you the 3 cards. I'm trying to get them going here. Okay. Here they are. All 3 of them together. So we started out with winter and taking care of our needs, and tapping into that power animal, the wolf. Going within, being courageous, to discern for ourselves what it is that we're here for. What do we want to keep? What do we want to release? Doing that inner work, that quiet work for ourselves. And the second card was the Earth Guardian, reminding us about being grounded, rooted to Grandmother Earth. And when we are grounded and rooted, that we're actually grounding our dreams to the earth plane. When we're using our gifts, we're grounding that experience to the earth plane. Being grounded, being able to discern for ourselves, illuminating from our soul, shining our light. And then the last card, the High Priest, is about intend and create. So you're creating from this place in a grounded way, right? So in many ways, we're also being told for those of us who have taken the opportunity placed before us in this different world that we found ourselves in since the beginning of the year. Those of us who have taken the time to do that self-reflection and to do the grounding work and all of that, it's also letting us know that we're on the right path. Keep going. You're doing good, right? Yeah. We're walking in a good way from our hearts. It's a good one. These cards, today's reading was really good. Wow. Okay. It has to do with the green tornado. Ew. All right. You and I are going to have a telephone chat or something. Karen says, these cards are profound. Yes, they are. The Lion's Gate has been quite the ride. Yes. The 3rd conjunction in October and November are huge. I know, right? And so what better time than to continue our focus and our intention of being grounded so that when the 3rd conjunction occurs, we're in a good position, right? We're grounded. We've done as much inner work as we possibly can, and we're prepared for the next piece, right? Good one. Thank you for that, Karen. And Rochelle says, thank you, Neshi. This is a wonderful show. Have missed you. I know. I missed you guys too. I have. And I'm so glad to be back. All right. Well, if anything that was shared in this conversation today, this spiritual conversation, has resonated with you, felt good to you, My suggestion is to embrace it. Embrace it and then watch, sense, feel, see how the energy this week flows around you or through you and where this information could be helpful, right? Yeah, and if it didn't resonate, don't worry about it. It's okay. You're not going to hurt anyone's feelings. It's all right. Maybe you're just the messenger and you get to share what you heard with someone else that needs to hear it. And you can just, send them the link and say, here, listen to this. It could be helpful, right? And then you're done. But then again, there's always next week, and next week's card may resonate with you. Who knows? So, with that, I appreciate you being here with me today and being a part of the spiritual conversation. I so enjoy it with you guys. I really do. It's one of my highlights of the week is to be here with you. And oh, I almost forgot. I always let you guys know what's going on the rest of the week. And so Thursday, tomorrow, we have a couple of live stream shows here for you guys. The first one being that is Angel Therapy with Maureen Mann, and she is going to be sharing messages from Archangel Zadkiel with us on her show, and that's at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And so join us for that one. And then following that is a replay of chakra sessions. I forget which one it is. Rats. Let's see if I can remember. Might be easier to call it up on my notes here. You know, the host for Chakra Sessions is Polly Jo LeBay, and Polly Jo has been on vacation. She moved from Massachusetts to Maine, and so she needed time to be able to set up her business, and so she's been working on that. And we've been holding replays of past shows of hers that have been some of the most watched. And so the one that's coming up this Thursday was selected by Deborah Clark Clemens, and she selected Returning to the Flow. And that's about it's about our second chakra and all about the flow in our lives. The flow in our communications, in our physical body, in our relationships, and even the flow of money. And so we're gonna be talking about the second chakra for that replay. So hope you guys can join us for those. With that, Bamamina, that's Potawatomi in native language, Potawatomi, Bamamina, that means until we see each other again next week for the Spiritual Roundtable. Love you guys. Bye. And there we go.